In today's global climate, it's more important than ever for us as Jamaicans to eat what we grow and grow what we eat. This month, as we salute our hardworking farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture launches the Thank a Farmer campaign. It's one that calls on every citizen to see the broader vision of building food security and nurturing a strong, self-reliant agricultural society. This is more than farming. It's about our national pride. On that note, I'm your host, Audrey Williams, and you've just opened the pages of Jamaica Magazine. We have a lot in store for you today, but first, our newsroom brings the latest updates from across the island. We'll be right back.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your GIS News for Friday, April 11, 2025. Work is now set to start on the Barrett Hall housing development, which will deliver another 1,500 dwellings for the people of St. James. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness broke ground on the development yesterday. It represents a partnership between the National Housing Trust and building company Wicon under the NHT's Developers Program. Through this program, developers build on land owned by the NHT with an agreement to sell 80% of those units to the housing agency at an affordable cost. A mix of detached 1- and 2-bedroom units as well as service lots will be offered at Barrett Hall, and Prime Minister Holness says 60% of them must be available to the lowest income earners among NHT contributors.
That is not just a clause in a contract. It is a commitment to the working class families who keep this country going. The teachers, police officers, farmers, hospitality workers in particular, the tourism workers who I'm sure will be eyeing this development very keenly. We are building for you. Indeed, we are building for all Jamaicans.
During the ceremony, Dr. Holness revealed that the NHT was providing an additional 20% in mobilization funds to partners in the Developers Program and 15% to those under the Guaranteed Purchase Program. This is expected to ease the cash flow burden on developers and reduce delays.
Developers have told us that while the NHT's 5% mobilization advance is useful, it often doesn't go far enough, especially given that civil infrastructure can account for up to 25% of project costs. And that is why we are revising the financing framework for both the developers and the Guaranteed Purchasers Program.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness is assuring investors that the government is building a strong labor force that will help to grow their business. He was giving the keynote address at the opening of the 5th staging of Outsourced to Jamaica 2025 in Montego Bay on Thursday. The Prime Minister says the government has made workforce development and digital skills training a priority. This is to influence and shape the future of work with laborers who are innovative, creative, and add value to the knowledge pool. Dr. Holness asserts that labor must not be a constraint for economic growth.
The strategy and policy of the Jamaican government is to empower our local labor force. In this regard, the work of our national training agency, the Heart Trust NSTA, the Global Services Skills Council, and our digital literacy and skills programs have been instrumental in creating a steady pipeline of talent, not only for traditional outsourcing, but for fintech, cybersecurity, software engineering, and data analytics. We are investing heavily in skills development.
All employees of the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, will have full pension benefits by the end of the calendar year. That's the word from the agency's executive director, Audley Gordon.
It's one thing to have nice offices. It's another thing to have good wages. But what about when you get old and can't work anymore? I am to report this morning that we have met with Sagicor. We have arrived at certain decisions with them, but we didn't want to go too fast ahead of ourselves. We met with a core team of people from across the regions, the 4 regions in Ocho-Rios, and we settled on certain things.
He also made the point that several contract workers of the agency have been made permanent staff members as part of a broader government policy decision.
NSWMA is among the first entity to be reporting this morning that nearly 2,000 people already I signed permanent letters for them across Jamaica, taking them out of this uncertainty of contract work to where they can plan their life now and they can make life-changing decisions financially because they know where the bread coming from once they go to work and do their work.
Mr. Gordon was addressing the official opening of WPM Waste Management Limited's new building in Ironshore, St. James on Tuesday. Jamaica is strengthening and expanding its partnerships with India and the Philippines to improve healthcare delivery. Earlier this week, a communique was signed with the University of the Philippines, Manila, to fill human resource gaps in specialized areas such as oncology, pediatrics, and critical care. This follows on a memorandum of understanding signed in Jamaica by the 2 countries in January.
What we have conceptualized and we are developing is a sustainable model of working together, Philippines and Jamaica, to expand faculty, to train trainers who are Jamaicans, and of course to provide an opportunity to train more Jamaicans in the specialized nursing areas in the first instance. Hopefully it can expand over time.
The Health and Wellness Minister gave the update on Tuesday as he participated in the 7th Global Ministerial Summit on Patient Safety in the Philippines. Dr. Tufton is now in India with a team from the ministry engaged in talks with Indian officials to cement an agreement on the development of human resources and the provision of affordable drugs.
We discussed a range of things, including the completion of a memorandum of understanding. Discussions that started between Prime Minister Modi and Prime Minister Holness here in India, later on further discussions in the Caribbean. The MOU will see a number of issues around health that we will collaborate on, including drugs and access to drugs, but also very importantly around human resource development and the collaboration around training, both training our healthcare workers in specialized areas or nurses in particular.
This partnership will provide access to Indian healthcare workers temporarily to fill gaps left by Jamaicans that have migrated, while the local health workforce is being trained and developed. Still on health, the ministry is urging Jamaican travelers to get vaccinated against yellow fever, as it notes an increase in human cases in countries of the Americas region this year. The Pan American Health Organization and World Health Organization have reported increased cases in Bolivia, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru. While it continues to undertake surveillance at the ports of entry, the ministry says it is important for Jamaican travelers to get vaccinated and show proof of their yellow fever vaccination when traveling to and from affected countries. The vaccine should be administered at least 10 days prior to travel. Yellow fever vaccinations are administered at the Slipen Road Comprehensive Health Center in Kingston and the Montego Bay Type 5 Health Center in St. James for a cost of $1,500. Yellow fever is an acute illness caused by the virus of the same name, mainly found in the tropics of South America and Africa. It is transmitted by the bite of infected mosquitoes such as the Aedes, the same vector that transmits the chikungunya, dengue, and Zika viruses. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for staying with us. If you're a farmer, now's the time to get registered with RADA. Registration opens the door to a range of government benefits and support available just for you. Our next feature breaks down how you can start the process.
If you're running a farming business, registering with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority (RADA) could be one of the smartest moves you make. But what exactly makes registration so important? One of the biggest benefits is gaining access to receipt books from the Jamaica Agricultural Society. These allow farmers to record every sale of produce. Also, if you're stopped by the Jamaica Constabulary Force (JCF) while transporting goods, having these receipts handy can confirm that your produce was purchased from a registered farmer. But that's not all. Registering with RADA also opens doors to lending facilities. By showing your farmer's ID, you can access financial support and even enjoy discounts at various farm stores. This ID serves as proof that you are an official farmer, which can be a game changer when it comes to securing resources for your business.
Once the farmers are registered, they are able to access these incentives such as duty concession and productive input relief that will assist them with some of the duties that they would pay on their agricultural equipment. There is also one major one where a lot of persons after, say, a natural disaster will come into the RADA office saying that they have lost various produce and products. However, the registration will basically weed out the genuine farmers from the ones that are not registered.
Getting registered with RADA is simple, and there are a few ways to kickstart the process. An extension officer may reach out to introduce the registration process, or you can take the first step by visiting a RADA office once you've heard about the program. Either way, the process is straightforward.
First of all, the farmer needs to ensure that he has his tax registration number, which is the TRN, or his driver's license, as well as another government-issued ID. There is the registration form that should be completed. So it's the various questions that are asked in terms of personal information, name, address, where the farm is located, how long the farmer has been in farming, where is the land located, if the land tenure in terms of if the land is lease, own, rent-free, etc. And the amount of crops, the list of all the crops, when they were planted, or livestock, or any other activities that they are doing. That information is also collected on the farm. After the farmer completes all this information on the form, they are asked to sign the form to state that all the information that was given to the officer is basically true. They will then take a photo ID of the farmer against a plain background, just the top half of the farmer. It's just like a passport picture. So that picture will be taken, and then the form, the registration form, will be then passed on to the extension officer if the extension officer is not the one doing the registration. So when the form is passed on to the extension officer now then goes out in the field to do the verification process. So the verification process is basically to ensure that this is where the farmer lives, this is the farmer telephone number, the crops and livestock are in place, or is it that some of the times the officer will go out in the field and they will maybe see additional crops that the farmer did not place on the form, then this is added to the form. If it's a case where all the crops are not seen at the time of the registration, at the time of the verification, then that crop or livestock is basically removed.
Once your registration is verified, the information is uploaded to the agribusiness database and a registration number is generated. This unique number stays with you no matter where you go within the country. After the process is completed, for a small fee of $500, you'll be issued your farmer's ID, which usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to process. Once ready, you'll be notified and you can either pick it up at your local parish office or arrange for delivery. Registering with RADA is a simple and valuable step towards securing your future in farming. With the right support, resources, and access to various benefits, you will be well equipped to grow your farming business.
Did you know that reading is for everyone? Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply someone looking to expand your horizons, reading is for you. Reading expands knowledge, improves focus and concentration, enhances vocabulary, and serves to unlock your creativity. So make time for reading every day. Let's make reading a habit for a smarter, healthier, and more successful life. For reading is for everyone.
Next, an in-depth look at how the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information will allocate and distribute its capital and recurrent budgets for this fiscal year.
Education is the cornerstone of a thriving society, and good education is holistic, with an eye on the needs of today and those of tomorrow. The government's role is to bring all necessary resources to bear to foster an environment of inclusive learning accessible to all citizens.
Excellence in education in Jamaica is a national objective.
Leading the national agenda is the Ministry of Education, Skills, Youth and Information. To undertake its mission in the 2025-26 fiscal year, the government has allocated over $188 billion across recurring needs and capital projects. The Central Ministry has a recurrent budget of $177.9 billion, the lion's share of it dedicated to the education portfolio. A total of $145.65 billion is budgeted for teaching, nutrition, classroom materials, and infrastructure needs of over 1,000 public education institutions, serving 700,000 students from the pre-primary to tertiary levels. It includes $928.57 million in maintenance grants to repair the physical facilities and equipment and buy furniture for early childhood, primary, and secondary schools. As the government continues to focus on technology in the classroom, a combined $200.8 million is allocated to provide ICT equipment and upgrade STEM-related science labs as well as computer labs.
We've put broadband internet access into over 680 schools now. Because if you want our children to feel like they're a part of the future, they have to have access to internet. That's a minimum. And so that work to put internet in our schools has been critical. We're also distributing smart boards across our schools so that our children can use that technology.
Inclusivity remains a priority. So $2.1 billion is also provided for special needs education services. Children can't learn on an empty stomach, so $8.9 billion is set aside for nutritional programs, while $380 million is on the books to fund transportation grants for students who are PATH beneficiaries. Under its youth portfolio, the ministry is providing $267.5 million as grants to various youth organizations. And one of two executive agencies under its oversight, the Child Protection and Family Services Agency, has a recurrent budget of $5 billion for child welfare initiatives. Meanwhile, the Jamaica Information Service, which has been newly integrated within the ministry, will operate on a $1.3 billion budget. Its other information agencies are allocated a combined $1 billion. With existing school stock being maintained, new equity is being put into education through a capital budget of $4.2 billion for large-scale projects. The largest investment is $1.76 billion towards the primary and secondary infrastructure program. This year, the ministry will begin constructing new classrooms at 10 primary and secondary schools, commence electrical upgrading at 7 institutions, and install security fencing at 2 primary schools. Another key project is a multi-year $10 billion investment to address overcrowding at Mount St. Joseph High School. $853.7 million will bring the project to conclusion this year, completing the final set of classroom blocks, as well as the auditorium and administrative block. Further investments include a $180 million allocation to complete the construction of a diagnostic center at the College of Agriculture, Science and Education, CASE, designed to assist students with learning and behavioral challenges. This is expected to be completed by March 2026, joining similar centers at Sam Sharp, Church and Manchester Teachers Colleges. In addition, construction of Jamaica's first Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts and Mathematics STEAM Academy is set to begin this fiscal year to the tune of $689 million. This money will also facilitate the finalization of the STEAM education policy, and it's all part of the Education System Transformation Program Phase 2. The government is also partnering with the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development (IBRD) to invest $752 million in the Jamaica Education Project. It's to focus on teacher training, science lab upgrades, and strategies for retaining at-risk students.
The Ministry of Education was tasked with the mission of human capital development, but we cannot do it alone. We all have a part to play.
Now, let's take a look at some of the key highlights from the 3rd Global Tourism Resilience Conference and Expo. This year's focus was building tourism resilience through digital transformation.
From February 17 to 19, tourism stakeholders from all over the world descended on the Princess Grad Jamaica Resort in Hanover for the 3rd staging of the Global Tourism Resilience Conference and Expo. This year's event was a digital affair, as the theme of the conference was Building Tourism Resilience Through Digital Transformation. Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett officially opened the conference, sharing several new initiatives being rolled out by the Jamaica-based Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center, which he founded in 2018. These include artificial intelligence, AI tools, capacity building programs, as well as thought leadership and advocacy efforts.
By equipping tourism stakeholders with cutting-edge digital skills, we aim to reshape the industry, making it more agile, inclusive, and future-ready. These initiatives collectively stand to transform global tourism. They illustrate how resilient building efforts can range from environmental sustainability to public health, from heritage preservations to digital innovation, all converging to create a seamless and sustainable global tourism environment.
Discussions also explored how to use big data to guide decision-making and personalize experiences for visitors. Immediate past president of the Caribbean Hotel and Tourism Association, CHTA, Nicole Madden Gregg, highlighted some of the data points destinations can use to improve their business.
We need to be able to move to the point where we have harmonization across data sets so we can better plan and utilize resources across the region. We use this to be able to predict future demand, be able to see what is happening across the region, so that we can also move human resources throughout the region, because we are, in fact, a CARICOM region that does allow us to move resources. Additional data points that we need to focus on: booking and accommodation preference, spending behavior, visitor movement data, how they engage with digital platforms, satisfaction scores, and feedback.
Meanwhile, Country Director for the Caribbean at the World Bank, Lilia Buronchuk, highlighted the importance of a strong digital presence for destinations as travelers increasingly rely on online reviews and booking platforms to plan their trips.
Over 50% of present tourists are booking their hotels directly online. They're no longer using the platforms. And this means that the tourist sector needs to readjust. It means that small and medium enterprises, but also the big enterprises, they need to do their marketing differently. Tourism actually learn most and choose the locations based on social media increasingly. For example, social media was a top reason, actually second top reason for inspiring a trip to the Caribbean as a result of that World Bank consumer market research.
Continuing the discussion on how artificial intelligence applications can be leveraged to enhance tourism, local presenters highlighted efforts to automate the processing of travelers through the installation of 100 automated passport kiosks and 15 e-gates at the island's international airports in Kingston and Montego Bay. Director of Tourism Donovan White added that the Jamaica Tourist Board has introduced an AI-powered chatbot on its visitjamaica.com website to assist potential visitors with requests and recommendations.
Our AI-powered chatbot, which is our virtual travel specialist on visitjamaica.com, delivers a 24-hour customer assistance to potential visitors. Through the chatbot, users around the world are able to connect with a live agent, which sits in our office, who can assist them and even provide quotations on bookings.
He noted that the AI chatbot delivers 24-hour customer assistance and now converses in up to 10 languages. Before we go, we leave you with a success story from the work of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center in Kenya. Since the launch of the Satellite Center in Africa, it has been having a positive impact on the African continent.
It seems like this center actually was established majorly for us because we took full advantage of the situation. And of course, with COVID coming immediately after we started the center in 2019, this center has been an icon that has helped us overcome crisis after crisis. And now we have policies, we have initiatives, we have programs that are transforming the Eastern Africa region.
Plans are now in place for next year's staging of the Global Tourism Resilience Conference with the goal of continuing to build capacity, collaborate, and share ideas. So mark your calendars for February 2026 as next year's conference promises to be bigger and better.
We've reached the end of our program. Get a recap of everything you saw here and more on our website, jis.gov.jm. I'm Audrey Williams. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.